Hello, good morning everyone. I am myself K. Narsimurthy. I am presently working as an assistant professor in Government First Grade Women's College, Tumkur. The subject which I am handling is physics. I am going to present the 44th video for the second semester students of Tumkur University. So I have been done almost a 70% of the syllabus I have covered in my 43 videos. So in the third unit I finished magnetic materials and I took up a new chapter which is Maxwell equations. In the Maxwell's equations I have derived 4 different Maxwell's equations. And by using these 4 Maxwell's equations I have derived a velocity of an electromagnetic wave and as well as the velocity of light, both in the free space as well as in a dielectric medium. And after that I have showed that this electric and electromagnetic wave is transverse in nature. That is also done by using the Maxwell's equations. And after that I derived the Poynting theorem and I defined these Poynting vector as well. Okay, so these are the some of the things I have done in this chapter, Maxwell's equation. I have been telling you that these Maxwell's equations are as important as Newton's laws of the mechanics. Now entire scenario has been changed. Entire thing of looking into electric and magnetic field separately has been changed now. Now we can say that these electric and magnetic fields are the two aspects of the same entity. The behavior of this electric and magnetic field is governed by these 4 set of equations and they are the Maxwell's equations. Now today I am going to give an expression for the energy density and I am going to show that this energy is equally shared between electric and magnetic fields. Okay, these are the I can say it's a kind of derivation which I am going to prove it today. Okay. Alright, I am going to have a relationship between electric and magnetic field. A phase relationship between electric field and the magnetic field. Now for that I am considering the Maxwell's third equation in free space. So Maxwell's third equation will be curl of E is equal to minus dou B by dou T. Now I know this B is H by mu naught. Magnetic field is magnetizing force divided by mu naught. And therefore, so curl of E will becomes equal to minus mu naught dou H by dou T. Let us call it as equation number 1. So this is the Maxwell's third equation in the free space. I have little bit modified this. I have substituted the magnetic field B as H by mu naught and I have written an equation. That is equation number 1. Okay, right. And we know that this operator del is I into K, where K is a wave vector. K is a wave vector will gives us the direction of propagation of the wave. Where did we got this del as I into K? While deriving an equation, while showing that the electric field and magnetic fields are transverse in nature, there I come across this del. So I have got a solution E and H. For this solution I did dou by dou R. I take del operator on both sides and I find the value of del. E is equal to E naught e to the power of I into omega t minus kx, where I did dou E by dou t. For that dou E by dou t, so dou E by dou R. If I did dou E by dou R means del E, then I got ik multiplied with this term. So finally I got this del as I into k by just differentiating the electric field. Alright. And also the solution of the same equations H or E, anything you take, if I differentiate partially with respect to t and I got this dou by dou t as minus I omega from that. It is previously done. Previously I have clearly shown you that the del is ik and dou by dou t is minus I into omega. Okay, right. So now we know the value of del as well and the dou by dou t also. Now what I am doing is I am applying this in equation 1. Now the equation 1 becomes, what is the equation 1? Let's go back and see. It's curl of E. It is and del cross E. So del cross E means del, we know it is ik. So it is ik cross E. Now this is ik cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, or you can say minus mu naught dou H by dou T. What I have written is minus mu naught. I know what's the value of dou by dou T. Dou by dou T I have told you in this slide this as minus I omega. Dou by dou T is minus omega. If I substitute, it is minus mu naught. Dou by dou T is minus y omega. I have substituted minus y omega into H. Okay, so I have substituted the value of del and the dou by dou T in the equation 1. I got a modified equation. I into k cross E is equal to minus mu naught minus I omega H. Okay, let us further simplify this. Both sides I have this imaginary I and I will cancel both sides. And minus into minus will becomes plus in the right hand side. Now the equation becomes k cross E is equal to mu naught omega H. Okay. Now I am moving further. Yeah. For this k, I am substituting as omega by c into n cap. I know the wave vector k is omega by c. I have defined in the very previous video that the k is omega by c. And I have substituted omega by c, and it's a vector. You need to mention this with some unit vector. Say n cap is a unit vector in the direction of propagation of wave. Okay. So omega by c into n cap cross E is equal to mu naught omega H. Alright. So what next I'm doing here is omega cancel on both sides. So C I am sending it to right hand side numerator. So equation becomes n cap cross E is equal to C mu naught H. Now I forgot to show this diagram. Okay, this is the diagram which clearly tells you the direction of electric field and magnetic field and the direction of wave propagation. Okay, look at the electric field and the magnetic field. They are perpendicular to each other and they are perpendicular to the direction of wave propagation. So clearly tells that these three are mutually perpendicular to each other. So one is electric field, another one is magnetic field, another one is wave vector, which is the direction of wave propagation. All these three are mutually perpendicular to each other, and that you can see clearly in the diagram. Okay, so this red wave is an electric field and a blue wave, which you can see in the diagram, is a magnetic field. Okay, and the direction of propagation also you can see it is along this time. Okay, so direction of wave propagation, all these three are mutually perpendicular to each other. That is what I derived in my previous video, that all these three are mutually perpendicular. Okay, right, n cap cross E is equal to C mu naught H. So I will move further. Now I know this cross product of two vectors A cross B is the modulus of A and modulus of B and sine of the angle between them. So A cross B is modulus of A and modulus of B, and sine of the angle between them is 90 degree. What is the two vectors which we are looking for? It is n cap and E. Left hand side we have a two vectors, n cap, which is a unit vector along the wave propagation, cross E cap. So n cross E cap is modulus of n into modulus of E into sine of the angle between them, and sine of the angle between them is 90 degree. As I told you, as I shown you in the diagram that these two are mutually perpendicular. What is this n cap? N cap is direction of wave propagation. It's a unit vector along the direction of wave propagation. This unit vector and the electric field, they are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, the angle between the unit vector and the E is 90 degree. Therefore, it is modulus of n and modulus of E and sine 90. Okay, so modulus of n and modulus of E sine 90 is 1. Therefore, that is equal to C mu naught H. N cap, we know it is 1. It is a unit vector. If you take a magnitude of that, it will be 1. It is only showing the direction of wave propagation. N cap will only tells you the direction of wave propagation. Its magnitude is 1. If I take its magnitude, it will be 1. Now left hand side you will have E, and I will take this H to the left hand side denominator. It becomes E by H. E by H is equal to C into mu naught. So for C, I have derived in last video that the velocity of light is 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. That I am substituting here. So E by H is equal to 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught into mu naught. Okay, right. Now the mu naught in the numerator can be written as root mu naught into root mu naught. 1 root mu naught will cancel with the root mu naught in the denominator. Now I will left with a root of mu naught divided by epsilon naught. So E divided by H will be equal to root of mu naught divided by epsilon naught. The fields, the two fields, electric and magnetic fields, are always propagate in quadrature by changing simultaneously. I have shown you with the help of a diagram that how these two will change. One is electric field, another is magnetic field. They keep on changing, okay? They keep on changing the magnitude because it's an AC. They keep on changing the magnitude, simultaneously, and E by H is, I am defining a quantity E by H as Z naught, which is equal to root of mu naught by epsilon naught. This is the relation between E and H in a free space. So electric field, magnetic field, I am going to give a relation. This phase relation is the phase relation between E and H in the free space. Okay, fine. So we have given you a phase relation between E and H in a free space, but we are going to look for a dielectric medium. What will be the phase relation in a dielectric medium? Okay, suppose let us consider a dielectric medium of relative permeability mu r and a relative permittivity of epsilon r. Then as I know with the background of that, E by H can be written as root of mu by epsilon. So mu I can write it as mu naught into mu r, and epsilon I can write it as epsilon naught into epsilon r. Okay, so if I substitute that, the Z is equal to root of mu naught by epsilon naught into root of mu r by epsilon r. So I know what is mu naught by epsilon naught, root of mu naught by epsilon naught, and that is Z naught. Okay, so if I substitute that, so Z is equal to Z naught into mu r by epsilon r. Z is the ratio of these fields in a free space, in a dielectric medium. Z naught is the ratio of the same fields in a free space. That's it. So now I have a relation Z equals to Z naught into root of mu r by epsilon r. This is what the phase relation between E and H in a dielectric medium. Okay, right. So I have derived a phase relation between the electric field and the magnetic field in a free space and as well as in a dielectric medium. That how I derived at this by taking again the Maxwell's equation. So that is why I am been telling you that Maxwell's equations are very, very important in electrodynamics. What not you can do with the Maxwell's equation. You can derive an equation for velocity of electromagnetic wave. You can derive an equation for velocity of light. You can say that electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. You can say that these three are mutually perpendicular. You can do a lot of things. You can come to the lot of conclusions with respect to electrodynamics just by analyzing these four set of Maxwell's equations. So these Maxwell's equations are very, very important in electrodynamics. Right. Now we'll move further and we look for the energy density of electromagnetic wave. Right. So we know what is Poynting theorem is. Okay. So Poynting theorem tells you that the energy decrease in the energy of an electromagnetic wave is what actually the energy which is flowing out. Okay. Our work done by these electromagnetic wave is equal to decrease in the energy stored by the electromagnetic wave. Okay. The same Poynting theorem I am using here, and I am looking for energy transported by the electromagnetic wave, which is surface integral of E cross H into ds, and that is equal to minus dou by dou t of volume integral of half epsilon naught E square plus half mu naught H square into dv. So this is the Poynting theorem which I have derived in my last video. Okay, I have told you that this theorem is very important for the exam as well. Okay, so I have taken this Poynting theorem to look for energy density of an electromagnetic wave. Okay, so I have mentioned this Poynting theorem. So work done by the electromagnetic wave is equal to the decrease in the energy stored by the electromagnetic wave. Right. Now this E cross H, I can write it as S. E cross H is the Poynting vector S. So surface integral of S ds is equal to right hand side will remain same, minus of dou by dou t volume integral of half epsilon naught E square plus half mu naught H square into dv. Now we know that S, I have substituted S is a Poynting vector. It is the energy transported by electromagnetic wave per unit area, okay, per unit time, and that is E cross H. This is the Poynting vector. Now energy stored per unit volume, which is called energy density, from that equation I can write the energy density as U is equal to half of epsilon naught E square RMS plus mu naught H square RMS. Let us call it as equation number 1. This I have taken from the previous equation, the Poynting theorem equation. From that equation I am looking for the energy density, energy stored per unit volume. I got this as half epsilon naught E square RMS plus mu naught H square RMS. Okay, how I did this? So yeah, this time it is left hand side is what the work. Okay, so if what the dou W by dou t, it's a rate of change of work. So rate of change of work, and within the bracket, right side within the bracket will be energy density. Okay, so this is the work. It means to say it is dou by dou t W minus dou W by dou t. Minus dou W by dou t is nothing but saying that the energy density is within the bracket in the right hand side. So whatever is in the right hand side bracket is what the energy density. Alright. So I have written for energy density, and we have a phase relation between E and H. I just now derived. This is E by H is equal to root of mu naught divided by epsilon naught. Let us square it on both sides. E square by H square is equal to mu naught by epsilon naught. And if I cross multiply, epsilon naught E square is equal to mu naught H square. Alright, let us move further. I have an energy density equation which I derived from the Poynting theorem. Half epsilon naught E square plus epsilon naught H square. I am writing epsilon naught H square in E square instead of epsilon naught H square. Why? Because I have showed here is that epsilon naught E square is equal to mu naught H square. Okay, so for that, So mu naught h square, I have written it as epsilon naught E square. Okay, so I have epsilon naught E square plus again epsilon naught E square. It is 2 times epsilon naught E square. 2 will get cancelled. Energy density is epsilon naught E square, or you can say it is mu naught h square. This clearly shows that the electromagnetic energy is equally shared between electric and magnetic field vectors. Okay, so whatever the energy is there, whatever the electromagnetic energy is there, it is equally shared by electric and magnetic vectors. Okay, so I have proved that the energy is equally shared between electric and magnetic fields. Sometimes you can expect this type of question also in the exam. They can ask you that show that the energy of an electromagnetic wave is equally shared between electric and magnetic fields. You have to derive up to this. Okay, right. So I have given you the equation for energy density. Okay, I have given you the phase relation between electric and magnetic fields. Now I am showing that this electromagnetic energy is equally shared between electric and magnetic fields. It is all done. This is all done with the help of Maxwell's equation. Lot of conclusion has been drawn. Okay, in the last 3 videos I have drawn a lot of conclusion with respect to electrodynamics just by taking the Maxwell's equations. Okay, therefore these Maxwell's equation, I can say repeatedly that they are very important with respect to the electrodynamics. Okay, lot of conclusion has been drawn with respect to electric and magnetic fields by taking the Maxwell's equations. Right, these are some of the books which I have referred. Okay, you please go through any good books of electrodynamics, and that is enough. You can clearly understand this. Thank you.